So I've been here working Show Your Scars. I'm back up here like at the top of the valley. It's super pretty, but I haven't been here in quite a couple of days because I was just like traveling a bunch. This is my first session back. Honestly, all the moves feel quite a bit harder than I thought they would. And I guess I find it really beneficial when I'm able to set goals that I can have success in no matter what. So an example of this is instead of setting goals of like doing a certain link or doing the crux move, which can be a good goal, setting goals that's just like I'm going to try and learn as much as I can about the body position. And with a goal like this, I can do that on a good day or a bad day. And that makes it feel like every session still has some productivity in it and isn't just like a total failure. But when goals are like always super outcome based, sometimes it's really easy to just feel like a session was a total failure. And that can be really demoralizing. But if I just focus on trying to learn and not get too caught up in whether or not I like did my high point again, then I find that I leave a session feeling a little bit more fulfilled and a little bit more like I just made progress. And it's really about like those micro details. Like, okay, I wanted to actually show you guys the micro beta that I'm talking about. So this, but you can kind of see that on this ridge, there's actually a tiny bit of, it's really hard to see. There's a tiny bit of incut. And what I started doing is instead of placing my heel right above it, I would place my heel right on it. And what that helps me do is when I start to get higher above my heel doesn't slip out, because that's what was always happening. I would get above the heel and then my heel would just slip. But the ridge kind of has a little bit of extra bite that actually helps my heel to stay. So it's been about a week since I've been up here at Show Your Scars, and today already this session started off going just so much better than the last session. I pretty much immediately was able to link all of the moves that I was really struggling on last session. I even gave some burns from the bottom and was able to do essentially the first half of the boulder, which is granted probably the easier half of the boulder, but just what I learned from my last session on it, even though I was struggling, really paid off, and it felt really good to link those moves. Oh, my toe cam came out. Fuck! Why does the heel still pop? Oh, but that was it. Issue I was having on the crux last session was really just getting my heel to stick, and it really took me almost the whole session to really figure out exactly how to place my heel so that way I could do the crux move and it wouldn't pop off right before I went to latch the crimp, which is what was happening like every single go, which was really frustrating. But this session, I'm pretty sure my very first attempt, I got the heel to stick and I hit the crimp. That's sick. I still had some issues with my feet cutting after I hit the crimp, but I know that that's kind of just a core tension thing that I need to be a little bit more prepared for in the future. I'm not too worried about it. For me, I really just try and approach every single session with not like a, oh, I need to make a high point or necessarily do this certain number of moves, but just can I learn as much as I possibly can from this session, and then whatever that session ends up looking like, I'm generally able to glean something from it and improve. And sometimes it's really good to have solid goals, like, okay, I've wanted 2 pieces of climb or something like that. That can be a very good goal to have, and oftentimes I will have that in the back of my head, but overall my goal is just to learn. And then when I do have a bad session, I'm able to pivot and be like, all right, maybe this isn't the session where I can make a link that's super big, or I can 2 pieces of climb. So right now I'm just going to fall back on learning as much as I can. And generally in the long run, that really pays off. So I guess all that's to say is, like, when you're projecting, you kind of just have to accept that there's going to be good sessions and bad sessions, and you really have to have the mentality to just show up and try to learn the most that you can, whatever the circumstances are. And that's just how climbing goes. It's like 95% failure and a little bit of success here and there, but the failure is really where we learn all the lessons. And if we don't let ourselves fail and kind of be on the bad days, then we might give up opportunities to improve.